Alright, this is geometry. Two column proofs. We're doing angle, angle, side, hypotenuse, leg, and CPCTC. We did a lot of CPCTC yesterday, and we're going to actually flip back and forth for our checklist that we have. So let's go ahead and take a look at, okay, I pulled out my checklist. So for page 71 in my notebook, I have, okay, checklist. So this is a checklist that we were working on yesterday. First thing, parallel lines. In this one right here, do I have parallel lines? Yes? Okay, it's right here. It's part of my given, isn't it? So it's going to be part of my given. So that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to look at. So it's going to have my two things. So for one, I'm going to write out my first given. T is the midpoint of SW. My reason for that? Given. Yeah. Okay, so if T is the midpoint of SW, what else do I know? ST. ST is congruent to WT, right? So it's the same thing. So ST and WT are going to be congruent. If T is the midpoint of this whole thing, I know that the two pieces are going to be congruent. Let's take a look. Midpoint. Bisectors, something cut into two equal pieces. Right there. So we have, from our checklist, we have right there. So it's going to be, for 2, it's going to be ST congruent to WT. Definition. Midpoint. Midpoint right there. So now, what am I going to do to my picture? Tick marks. Thank you very much. Tick marks right here, so I know what we're dealing with. Okay, let's go back. So my parallel lines that I had right here. So for 3, it's going to be SR is parallel to WX. And that was given. Now, since we know that these are parallel, now these are my markings for parallel. See these arrows right here? Those arrows going in the same direction right there mean that these two are parallel to each other. These two are parallel to each other because they have the arrows. So the tick marks show congruence. The arcs show that the angles are congruent. And arrows show that the lines are parallel. Okay? So now that I have that right there, so because of parallel lines, what do I know? There we go, alternate interior angles. Now, from there, alternate interior angles. Which ones are going to be alternate interior angles? R, very good. So R is going to be congruent to X. Right there. Angle R is congruent to angle X. And the reason? No, not parallel lines. Very good. Alternate interior angles, right? Alternate interior angles. Okay, 5. I have that these ones right here. Do I have anything else? S is going to be congruent to W. So now, but do I put one arc in there? Two arcs, right? 2 arcs. So 2 arcs for that one right there. And so W also gets 2 arcs. So they both get 2 arcs right there. So I'm going to say that angle S is congruent to angle W. My reason? Alternate interior angles. Okay, now on this next one right here, do I have enough information to say these 2 triangles are congruent? I heard yes. Why? How? Look at what I have. This right here. It's a what? Angle or a side? Angle. So if I'm looking, I'm trying to prove that they're congruent. I'm going to back up a couple pages. This is what we're using right here. So it's going to be some of these. So it's angles and sides. That's all I'm working with here. Angles and sides. So let's look at what I have. This is an angle. This is an angle. And this is a side, right? So this is angle, angle, side. So it goes 1, 2, then the side. Is the same thing for over here. Angle, angle, side, right? Okay, so now the triangles are congruent because that the angles, and I did all the pieces that I had. So for step 6, I'm going to say the 2 triangles. So triangle SRT is congruent to triangle WXT. That's by angle, angle, side. Question? It's not too bad, right? All right, let's take a look at this next one. Okay, so now I have a whole bunch of given right here, right? I have given. Let's go ahead and start with that. Let's start with my given. So, first statement, I'm going to actually put them. I'm going to put them down one at a time. So it's AC. Now, what is that symbol right there? What's that symbol right there mean? Perpendicular. Very good. Perpendicular is perpendicular to BD, that's my given. So what does perpendicular tell me? Let's see, what does perpendicular tell me here? Checklist. 90-degree angles, very good. So I'm going to put the 90-degree angles where? At C, very good. So I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to put it here. Okay, so now I have that. So now, for 2, I'm going to use my next given. AB is congruent to AD. That's my given also. So it's already marked. AB and AD right there. Those are given. Now, let's go through our checklist. For 3, it's on the checklist. What am I going to look for here? ACB. We already have those. We have those right there. So we already have that the right angles. So they will be congruent to each other, but I'm not looking for that yet. I'm not looking for that yet. I want to find something else.
Shared side.
Shared side, very good. Shared side. So if I'm looking at my checklist, do I have parallel? Say no.
No.
Class, do I have an X in the picture? No, I don't have a X. They don't make an X, do they? Do they have a shared side? Yes, they share a side. They share a side. So let's see. What side do they share? AC, don't they? So if they share AC, what am I going to write? Reflexive property. Very good. What's my statement going to be? Very good. AC is congruent to AC. And that is my reflexive property. Okay, so I have reflexive property. So now what do I have to do with my picture? Tick marks. Do I put 1 over here? 2. Because it's not going to be the same as these. So I'm going to put a 2 tick mark right here. Now, do I have enough information to say these two triangles are congruent? Yes, I do. I do have enough information. If you notice, this is angle side side, isn't it? This one is also angle side side. But is this a special angle side side? Let's take a look. So, let me see. Angle side side right here. Angle side side. So angle side side, are those congruent? No. But let's look at hypotenuse leg. Is hypotenuse leg congruent?
No. Yes.
Okay, so now when I have hypotenuse leg, I have to have a what? A right triangle. Do we have a right triangle? Yes, we do have a right triangle. So I could try and use this one. Okay, I could try and use this one. So let's take a look at my other page. Let's go back. So for this problem right here, so now I have a right angle. So these are right triangles, right? The hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse. It is across from my right angle, right? So that's the hypotenuse of this side. That's the hypotenuse of this side. Are those two hypotenuse congruent?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Do I have one of the sides congruent also? Yes, I have this one that's reflexive, right? So this one is going to work by hypotenuse leg. So I could state for that triangle. So triangle, let's see, ACB is going to be congruent to triangle ACD, and what is the reason? Hypotenuse leg, very good. Hypotenuse leg only works with the right triangles, doesn't it? So right triangles. So whenever you have a right triangle, you can always try and consider one of those. So you have to look to see what information you have. So now we have hypotenuse leg. Now, did I prove what my statement said to prove?
No.
I have not proved it. But I already proved that the triangles are congruent. So what can come next?
The
CPCTC. So that's my reason 5. So after I prove that they're congruent, that means all corresponding parts have to be congruent. So BAC. BAC is going to be congruent to DAC. And that's what I'm looking for. Angle BAC is going to be congruent to angle DAC. So I now have the triangles congruent, so I could say that all corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So once I say that they're congruent, then all their parts are congruent. And that's what I'm using that for. So yes, that one is there now. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at, okay, so this is 70. This is page 70 here. Or I'm sorry, 71. That's 71. And so what do I do with my 70? Here's 70. All right, so let's take a look at 70. So page 70, we have 4 problems for practice. But on this one right here, on all these 4 problems, I have given you all the statements, and you have to go through and fill out the reasons for this. Okay? So, when you go through this, use your checklist, use all your information that you already have, use your handy dandy, okay, to go through and fill out what you need for all these things right here. So, questions, concerns, complaints? Okay, all right. How do we end it, Chris? Okay.
Subscribe.
Yeah, don't forget like, subscribe, right? Leave comments below.